To better understand the rivalry between Tehran and Riyadh and how it's affecting the region, I'm joined by James Smith, the former U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia. He's currently the president of C&M International, a consulting firm for global policy and regulation. It seemed right after this embassy attack, the Iranian president was kind of hitting the right tones, denouncing it, calling it totally unjustifiable, calling the people who carried it out extremists. And then it seemed like that didn't stop the backlash. And now it's kind of a war of words. Rouhani today saying Saudi Arabia cannot hide the crime of beheading a religious leader. And then the Saudi foreign minister saying, quote, this cleric was, quote, as much a religious scholar as Osama bin Laden. Right. Seems like just gas and gas and gas. Now, you're a diplomat. How do you, is it back channels? How do you kind of break down the tensions?
You very much have to back channel and do quiet diplomacy to bring them together. The reality of it is that if you look at the timeline, Saturday morning is when the first threats to the embassy took place, and the Saudis asked for help by the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The first group of protesters showed up Saturday afternoon. Then the embassy was ransacked Saturday night and Sunday morning. And then the security did not show up until Sunday afternoon. So while Rouhani was correct in denouncing it, it was after the fact. The reality of it is that Iran has abrogated its responsibility in international convention to protect people at embassies. And they've done this repeatedly. And the only way forward is for them to make a commitment to protect embassy personnel in accordance with the Vienna Convention.
Well, as you heard Nathan say in his report, it seems like the Iranian government is going more in the direction of we want an investigation, trying to downplay the cleric's execution. Is that a step in the right direction?
It is a step in the right direction, and the first day or two you expect to hear rhetoric. Hopefully that will subside, and there are many reasons why Iran and Saudi Arabia should get past this. You mentioned the pilgrims coming for Umrah now and then Hajj. They're required visas for that. It makes sense to have a diplomatic footprint in place to do that. Daesh, ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want, is a threat to both Iran and Saudi Arabia. They need to work together on that. Without the two of them together, you're not going to get a Syria transition plan in place. So it's better that people are talking than not talking.
Well, I was just going to say, regionally, and you brought it up, Syria, but it's not just Syria, it's Yemen, it's Iraq, Lebanon hasn't had a president for about a year and a half. Both of these players, very important regionally. So what does it do there?
Well, understand that Iran has undertook a strategy of destabilization since 1979. And the political objective there is to make sure their neighbors are weak. Saudi has undertaken a strategy of stabilization. Some would call it modernization without change. Those are the two extremes in place. The reality has to be somewhere in the middle, because at the end of the day, 99% of the casualties are Muslims killing Muslims. It's green on green. And these two powers are at the center of it. And you're not going to bring stability to the region until you can bring Tehran and Riyadh together.
Russia, Turkey, Oman, Indonesia, Pakistan, all saying they want to mediate. Is there somebody who really can step in and mediate this type of dispute?
Certainly, the United States can play a role.
But the United States is at odds with both of these countries in some respects.
That doesn't mean you can't play an important diplomatic role, okay? You're not taking sides. You're trying to bring together. Now, historically, Oman has been the key player to work initiatives in Tehran for the United States. I would look to Oman as the key player as we move forward.
If you were still there in the capacity you're in now, and now that you're not, you can probably be honest with us, what would you be doing on the ground there as ambassador?
I would be working diligently to try to cool down the rhetoric and allow for conversation.
Ambassador, thanks so much for coming in. A privilege talking to you. Thanks
Good to be
so
with
much.
you.